Georgia absolutely blew out Marshall in week 1 of the 2025 college football season, 45-7, an absolute obliteration. Clearly no positive takeaways from Marshall here. We could have plenty of positive takeaways for the Georgia Bulldogs. But as a diehard Georgia fan, I really want to get into the two quarterbacks that we have in the roster right now between Gunnar Stockton and Ryan Puglisi, who is a true freshman, and obviously Gunnar, who's getting his first real shot at being a starter and an effective playmaker for the Georgia Bulldogs. So Gunnar Stockton versus Marshall in week 1, 14-24, 190 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 10 carries, 73 yards, another 2 rushing touchdowns, and PFF gave him a game grade of about 81. Clearly, he's an explosive playmaker. This guy pushes the ball down the field. His average depth of target was just over 8 yards at 8.1, making big chunk plays in this one. He's a true dual threat, turned kind of a design zone read reps into touchdowns type of quarterback because he has such a strength in the running game, and Kirby Smart sees that. And he consistently finished runs in space in this game. And he's very comfortable throwing on the rhythm concepts, attacking the intermediate and the deeper windows. Like, he is definitely a gunslinger when protection allows him to be. We know he can get a little outside of the box, as any quarterback can be if there is pressure. But some of the cons when you look at Gunnar Stockton's game, really just between the small sample size of last year and coming into this one in a really nothing game against Marshall, he does have an aggressive decision profile. Like, a few of those throws were risky. They would be punished by elite defenses. He does need that crisper progression speed, no question about it. And Kirby and the coaches are going to be having these types of conversations with him. The pocket timing can also hang at certain moments as well. Like, in some spots, he hung too long on reps. But that is coachable, but it is going to be a concern versus the top rushes that we're going to see later in the year, like a Texas if their defense comes around, like an Alabama if their defense comes around, like the other multiple SEC teams that Georgia's going to have to face, being one of the top dogs in the SEC, playing in the toughest conference in college football. Now let's take a look at Ryan Puglisi, the true freshman, his stats versus Marshall in week 1. He was 5 of 8, 59 yards, a pass and touchdown, 2 carries for 13 yards as well. And PFF actually gave him a game grade of about 83. Now, obviously, that's going to be higher than what Gunnar Stockton had, but Puglisi also did not play a lot of snaps, so his margin of error, his window of mistakes, his percentage of mistakes is going to naturally be lower because he did not have a lot of snaps. But, he was extremely efficient. He was really safe in the limited duties that he was punched into, obviously, later in this game when Kirby put him in, when it was just an absolute shellacking of Marshall. I mean, quick reads, high percentage throws. Now, not a lot of getting into his bag, his skill set from Kirby, as, again, it was just coming in for mop-up duty. Obviously, we saw some strong game manager traits, just clean pockets, working in relief, a touchdown, no turnovers, and just a very coachable profile for, like, late game situations, short yardage scripts. It's really going to be nice to see how, Puglisi will really progress throughout the season, depending on how much time he actually gets. It was a small sample size in the game, though, not enough really high leverage reps to prove his deep ball timing or even some of that sustained aggressiveness that we're going to be looking for as you face the Texases, the Alabamas of the SEC. Again, that tough schedule that's going to be coming up. And, he just wasn't really shown as a consistent designed run threat here. It was also a limited rushing sample. Again, he did only have 8 attempts passing. He did only have 2 carries for 13 yards, which is good, stats-wise, all things considered. But I think it's now time to take a question at which Georgia quarterback is better at what? We'll start with overall passing decisions. Who made better choices throughout the air? I think if you're looking for cleaner, safer decisions, clearly Puglisi did that. He was efficient, higher per snap grade, really in relief because, again, it was a smaller window to make mistakes. But if you're looking for more aggressive, bigger plays, and this is probably just because of the bigger sample size, like, you're going to take a look at Gunnar Stockton. He's going to get those intermediate, those deep throws, bigger average depth of target. Obviously had the 2 passing touchdowns in this game. And we're talking about a pure runner. It's Gunnar Stockton by a wide margin, 10 carries for 73 yards and 2 touchdowns. Just a very decisive lane selection runner, and Puglisi just, again, only had a tiny sample, 2 carries for 13 yards. I pray that I'm saying that young man's name correctly. If you're looking for really some situational processing and kind of pocket presence, I think it could split down the middle here. It did feel like Puglisi was kind of more of a natural, safer passer of the football, but we really only saw him in that mop-up / relief kind of composure skill set there. He did have the quick reads, obviously the clean releases, but if you're looking for someone to create under pressure and extend the plays, that's clearly going to be Gunnar Stockton, who is an insane dual threat quarterback. He's just better at climbing, escaping the pocket, turning the plays into runs, but he does need to get that speed down kind of as he goes through his reads and his progressions. At the end of the day, who would you trust versus elite defenses? I think the only sample size we have right now is going to be Gunnar Stockton. He does have high upside. He does have higher risk with how aggressive he could be to create big plays and be a runner. Obviously, he's going to have the ball in his hands more. He really has that go for broke upside. Like we saw that when he took the rush up the middle against Texas and just absolutely got stoned by Andrew Mukuba at about the 2-yard line. And thankfully, Gunnar's, relief and helping out Carson Beck, who had a hurt hand and was out for the season. Like he was able to really go for broke and show us that upside in that Texas game. Definitely start him, but you do want to script him to limit some early risky reps, some early big shots, because again, like he's a gunslinger. He's not going to be afraid to let it rip, which is a good thing. That's one thing you really want to see out of your quarterback. So I've got to say, if we're looking at a true franchise quarterback for this season for Georgia, it's clearly going to be Gunnar Stockton. But Puglisi also being one of the top recruits coming over to Georgia, being a true freshman, we're going to be able to see what he's got as well. So in some more of these mop-up late game relief situations, I hope we see, quite a bit of Puglisi just so we can really understand what we've got to look forward to as Georgia fans.
Hey, it's AJL here. Appreciate you sticking to the end of the video here on YouTube. You could have chose any other show, but you chose my video, and for that, I'm very grateful. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media. Hit the bell on the channel so you never miss a post. Check me out on all social media platforms. Right here, you'll find a chance to subscribe to the show, a related video, and a playlist. See you guys in the next one.